Hey guys, welcome back to Philly Sports with Giovanni. Today I have a special birthday episode, and I could not think of anyone else who I would love to podcast more than the man himself, Chris Long. What's up, bro?
What's up, birthday boy? Birthday man? Look at you, dude. You're gonna be driving a car in 2 years. We were just saying that. Like, man,
Yeah.
you're gonna be driving me around your Corvette.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, yeah, dude. I wouldn't miss it. Thanks for coming to my event last week. People were psyched to see you. I was psyched to finally meet you in person. That's insane that we hadn't met in person.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, and thanks to Cowboy Reed and
Cowboy
your
Reed.
your
Yeah.
production crew and everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone was so nice. Thank you guys so much. I had a
Hey,
lot of
dude.
fun.
We had fun having you.
I love what you're doing for the kids in Philly, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Ed Zone's gonna be big. Cradles to Crayons is gonna be big,
Yeah.
man. So we're excited.
Yeah. So last game was crazy.
Yeah.
The Birds lost, obviously, but the offense did pretty good.
Yeah.
They could have produced better in the red zone, but they did pretty good.
Yeah, they did a good job, man. I think they're, I don't know if people realize this because they got a little bit of a false, like, hey, we've arrived offensively because Jalen won a couple games at the end of the season last year. Like, there has to be a patience. This is essentially his rookie year. I mean, COVID and being thrown into the fire with 4 games to go is not really like a proper introduction to the city. And I think, honestly, it's going to be a work in progress. This is going to be a weekend that's going to be a big test for them playing Carolina because of that pass rush. That's the one thing that Kansas City didn't really have, which is counterintuitive because they have Chris Jones, and he's a big name, but top to bottom, that Carolina D-line is pretty good. So, they did a good job last week. They were able to overcome some of the injuries up front. But you're right. They didn't capitalize when they got down into the red zone. And we said this last year with the Bills in the playoffs. You cannot kick field goals against the Chiefs. And early, we actually decided to kick a field goal. We burned a timeout, and then we kicked a field goal. And I was standing on the sideline with LeGarrette Blount before the game, and he's like, or during that first drive, he goes, what would you do here? I said, I'm going for it. And he goes, oh, I'm taking the points. And at the end of the game, when we walked out, he's like, you were right. You can never take the points against the Chiefs. You have to stay aggressive. And so good learning experience, a lot of good wide receiver play. I think you got a lot to be excited about there, but the injuries are a lot.
Yeah. The defense did not do good.
Yeah.
Not good. I think they're really missing BG.
I think they are too. I think when you have BG, you at least increase the chances of getting a negative play anytime they run your way. I mean, like, you might gash BG because he likes to take chances, but he also is going to hit the home runs, and people are afraid of those home runs. So, you know, he's just a leader. He's a guy who can play inside and out, so he can rush inside and out. Like, when we were there together, he rushed inside to accommodate me being the end. He moves around. He's unselfish. He's got energy. It's more than just an X's and O's loss for them. But Fletch and Hargrave inside, as they continue to work together, I think they could be the strength of the defense. Especially Hargrave's been playing really, really well, and Fletch eating some of the doubles. I think he's on a path to be a Pro Bowl player. He's going to get the credit he deserves this year, I think, just because the numbers are going to dictate that.
Yeah, I love Hargrave. And speaking of Fletcher Cox, I saw you at your tailgate get to put on his number. I know he's your buddy. What was that like to be able to put on his jersey as a fan of the Eagles?
It's pretty funny to be able to throw a jersey on. It was cool to be able to, like, I asked them for a Fletcher Cox jersey because I wanted to rock it at the event to represent my dude. And then, when I went into the game, I took the jersey off because I had to be on the sideline and whatever. But the whole experience of being a fan was cool. I've only been to two well, other than Super Bowls, because I go there to work, and then like sometimes I get a ticket, which is fun. But I like going to like a real game. I've been to a Bears game to see my brother play right after I retired. I didn't love it. Um, doing the tailgating and then going into the link and sitting, there and being on the sideline, it was an awesome experience. Like I actually might do it a lot more. And I never thought I'd be a guy who would go to a lot of NFL games, but the energy was awesome. That Eagles chant hits a little different when you're in the stands. Like it's a different kind
Yeah.
of thing. You're a part of it. So it was cool.
Yeah, the Eagles chant after you shotgun the beer at your tailgate was pretty awesome too.
See, what people have to understand is that girl that shotgun next whipped my butt, but
She was done so fast.
she also had a normal size can. They gave me a big tall boy, so I had
Yeah.
a big Miller Lite smoothie, but it was all for a good cause.
Yeah. So how was your first game as a fan of the
Yeah.
Eagles overall?
It was cool, man. Like I said, like, yeah, I was always, when I played, I was jealous of the tailgaters
Yeah.
sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are having fun. We used to pull in at like 9 in the morning to go to a noon or a 1 o'clock game or whatever. Like, if you were the first couple guys in the stadium, there would still be people that looked like they had been there since the sun came up.
Yeah.
And so that was my favorite thing about Philly. Like, was the fans. Like, the organization's awesome. Being on that team was amazing, but the fans really make it what it was. And so when you'd pull in to the stadium to go to work, and there'd be already 10,000 people in the parking lot at 10 a.m., like that's awesome. That makes you really want to run into work. And, to be a part of that as a fan, I got to see what it was all about. I got to see what all my FOMO was about.
Yeah. Us Philly fans, we're crazy when it comes to tailgating.
That's great.
My friend Gail, he gets there at like 4 o'clock in the morning, claims his spot, and just like sets up straight away.
Does he? How long did? What time is his alarm clock going off
He
for a
he doesn't
4?
sleep. He
Yeah,
doesn't sleep.
he's not sleeping, dude. By the fourth quarter, I think Dale needs a Diet Coke or something, or a couple coffees, because he's
Yeah.
probably really dragging.
Yeah. Um, bro, you
Yeah,
had your first Philly cheesesteak.
yeah, yeah.
How was that?
It was really good. It was funny because Gio, like when I got to Philly, I was 33 or whatever it was, or 32. And when you're 32 or 33, like right now you're 14, your metabolism is terrific. Like you're jacked, bro. But when you
Yeah.
get to be 33 and 34, every little cheesesteak kind of sticks around, especially when you're 260 or 255. So um I laid off the cheesesteaks. I wanted to save it for a time when I can really enjoy it. I said, when I come back to Philly, I'm going to have one. And I did. And I totally understood why. I ate it for breakfast, honestly, because I was up early and I was out late with Brent Selleck the night before, and I had to wake up and come in and do the tailgate, and I had to skip breakfast. So when they hand me that cheesesteak, that was my healthy start to the day.
Yeah. Speaking of Brent Selleck, awesome guy. He was so
Oh,
awesome. But I'm just standing there watching you do your show, and Brent Selleck's standing next to me, and I didn't even know it.
oh
And
no.
and like my mom was like, "Hey, next to you is Brent Selleck." I look over and I'm like, "Hey, Brent." And
Did you talk to him?
he gave me a fist bump.
Oh, that's awesome. He's such a good dude. He's one of my favorite teammates. When I got to Philly, I always tell people, like, if you wanted to know how to move around, if you wanted to know, who to, like, avoid, what to do, what not to do, Brent Selleck is like your tour guide. I mean, like, he was the dude that has been there since, the beginning of time, as far as when, he was even older than me. I think he's got a year or two on me. So Selleck and me became really tight, and we hung out a lot. And he's a great friend. Like when I came back, for this event, he really rolled out the red carpet and tried to take care of us and support, and took us out to dinner Saturday night at the saloon down there in South Philly. I just love the guy. He's so Philly. He loves it, and he really lives it. And now he's doing real estate, so it's good to see him.
Yeah. Um, who do you think is the best team in the NFC East?
In the NFC East, people are going to hate to hear this, but I think it's the Cowboys. I mean, because they've become competent on defense at the very least. Like last year, they were just an abomination defensively, dude. They were like, I think back to that Cleveland game and their run fits right off the bat. Like you knew it was going to be a long, long season. They had guys doing a lot of in between duties up front, and the coverage wasn't great behind it either. I couldn't. They weren't an attack defense. They weren't a read defense. This year, I feel like they've got the competency with Dan Quinn, who was struggling as a head coach to perform defensively. But I think people don't realize like there's a lot of head coaches that probably would rather just be coordinators and have to worry about what's on their plate, like and call plays. I think it's probably hard to do all that and be a head coach. Dan Quinn showed that by virtue of just him being in the building, they can be more competent on defense and match up a little bit better with the production offensively with Kellen Moore. So nobody's playing better than Dak. Well, I mean, he's up there. And even as an Eagles fan, I can't help but admire Dak and what he's been through in the last year. And I know that you reached out to him and that sort of thing. So you definitely identify with what I'm saying. But I do think they're the best team in the division right now. Now it's going to be a long season. It's going to be up to the Eagles to win enough games to stay in range in case something happens in Dallas where they're not playing as well. So I do think it's them right now.
Yeah, at your tailgate, you said put money on Dallas, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's gonna get beat up. I was scared for your life.
That's
man.
why. Hey, you know what? That's why I had That's why I was up on the podium. That's why I stretched before the event, just in case I had to run.
Yeah, I was scared for you. Everybody started booing you.
I was just trying to make Philly people some money, and they could have made some money. So
they could have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the score is gonna be on Sunday?
Golly. It's gonna be tight. I think, you could look at it being like a 26-23 type game, 31-28 could go either way. I actually give a slight edge to the Panthers because of that D line and because of some injuries on the O line and some situations that they can't really control right now. So that's my biggest worry. But obviously, the Panthers feel like they need corner help because they went out and traded for Stephon Gilmore. I think, if you can attack that secondary and you can hold up long enough, we can put some points on the board. But I do worry about that. And I think actually the Eagles defense is going to be able to get after Darnold a little bit, but he's been really good running the football, kind of led the league. I don't know if he's still leading the league in rushing touchdowns. They have to be really smart in the red zone with their rush lanes. They have to treat him like he is a threat with his legs.
Yeah. I think the Eagles are gonna win. I think it might be 28-21.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I like it. I would like that. I think it's going to be a tight ball game. Like I said, the matchup, my brain favors the Panthers, but I know the Eagles might have a big bounce back day too.
Yeah, I think Kenny Gainwell's gonna have a game.
I love him. He's great,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, like he can do a little bit of everything. He's a great guy to have in that offense.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a game. I'm hoping Watkins has a game. I love Watkins.
Oh yeah, Quez. That's my guy. He's on my fantasy team. I love
him. Thank you so much for coming on, man. It means a lot.
Man. Hey, anytime, Gio. I love the green headphones too.
Thanks, man. This was the best birthday present ever. Thank you.
Well, I
so
hope
much.
it's gonna keep getting better, man. This is good. Hey, there's only one way to go from here. You're gonna go. What are you gonna do the rest of the day, dude? You're going to grandma's, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, grandma's cooler than me, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man.
All right, see you, dude.